Thud by Terry Pratchett. Come closer, settle in. This is a City Watch story about a game, a valley, and a darkness that would like Commander Vimes to stop being a policeman and start being a weapon. On the disc, history is often a grudge with better costumes. A dwarf is murdered in Ankh-Morpork on the anniversary of Koom Valley. The battle dwarfs and trolls have been refighting in their sleep for centuries. The city braces. Taverns choose sides. Newspapers choose headlines. Vimes chooses evidence, and 6 o'clock, because young Sam's bedtime is a law older than any valley. The game of Thud is a board of squares that remembers a war. Methodia Rascal painted Koom Valley as a puzzle before the voices took him. Underground, something older than dwarfs or trolls notices Vimes's anger and offers to wear it. The summoning dark is not a metaphor. It is a passenger. Angua smells hatred that has gone stale and therefore more dangerous. Sergeant Cheery Littlebottom is a dwarf who wears a skirt in a city that still thinks that is a plot. Sally, the vampire recruit, has daylight issues and a talent for seeing what the dark is for. Carrot believes people can share a street. Detritus, a troll, believes in the watch, which is a kind of miracle if you have read the older histories. Mr. Shine, him Diamond, is a troll who has been civilized the hard way and would prefer the city not to burn for a painting. Grag Bashfulson is a dwarf who reads the deeper books. Vimes walks into mines, cubicles of ancient light, and the kind of politics that uses children as punctuation. He does not allow it. The dark offers a simpler Vimes, no paperwork, no 6 o'clock, only the clean pleasure of being right at the top of his lungs. Vimes has been that man in dreams. He has a badge for remaining the other one. He takes the dark for a walk and does not let it drive. Koom Valley, when they finally stand in it, is not a sermon. It is weather, stone, and the discovery that the famous battle may have been a misunderstanding with extra axes. Dwarfs and trolls have died of a story. Vimes prefers arrests. The war does not happen. The cube speaks. The painting makes a kind of sense. Young Sam gets "Where's my cow?" at 6, which is how civilization is actually maintained. If you are still awake, remember this: ancient evils love a man who is already tired and angry. The watch job is to stay tired, stay angry, and still go home. Sleep well. The board is packed away. The valley is only geography tonight. 6 o'clock is not sentiment. It is a fence Vimes built around the part of himself that would otherwise work until the city became an excuse. Sybil understands fences. Young Sam does not negotiate. The cow must be found. Dwarfs mine words as carefully as ore. Trolls remember in Diamond. Between them, Ankh-Morpork tries to be a place where both kinds of memory can buy a pie. That project is always one murder from collapse. Vimes does not believe in destiny. He believes in the next boot step, the next witness, and the terrible luxury of a working kettle. Destiny can wait in the corridor with its hat in its hands. The summoning dark learns what every other dark thing in the city has learned: Vimes will go down with you, but he will not become you. He has a son who needs a story about a cow, and that is a stronger geese than any underground king. Cheer's lipstick is a political act so small the old mine lords cannot see it until it has already won. Sally's patience with daylight is another. The watch integrates the way the city does, badly, then permanently. Mr. Shine's quiet is the kind that comes from surviving the loud centuries. He does not need Vimes to like trolls. He needs Vimes to like lore more than folklore. When the cube opens, it does not give a speech. It gives a correction. History, it turns out, was never as simple as the tavern songs. Tavern songs hate corrections. Vimes files them anyway. There. The lamp is low. The watch house kettle ticks. Tomorrow there will be paperwork about not having a war, which is the best paperwork there is. For tonight, Koom Valley is a place, not a weapon, and Vimes is off duty, which is a kind of victory the dark cannot spell. The watch house at night is a box of yellow light in a city that prefers its arguments unlit. Vimes sits with a report that will not become a war if he can help it. The dark sits with him, uninvited, and offers to write a shorter report in blood. He dips a pen in ink instead. Ink is slower. Slower is the point. Young Sam's cow book is a liturgy. Miss one verse and the evening comes apart. Sybil does not police this, she simply expects it, which is more effective. Civilization, Vimes decides, is a series of kept appointments with small people. Dwarfs have a word for surface dwellers that is not complimentary. Trolls have a word for dwarfs that sounds like geology having an opinion. Ankh-Morpork's word for both is a neighbor, which nobody finds satisfying and everybody uses when the rent is due. Rascal's painting is a map that went mad from being too accurate. The watch treats maps as tools. Tools can still bite. Vimes stands before the canvas and refuses to be recruited by pigment. Sally learns the city from its shadows, which is honest work for a vampire. Cheery learns the city from its stubbornness about skirts. Both are doing the same job, making the watch look like the street it polices. Koom Valley stones have been counting footsteps for a long time. When Vimes's boots add to the count, the dark expects a coronation of rage. What it gets is a man looking for a cube, a painting's missing square, and a way home before 6. That is a poorer story for songs and a better one for children. Mr. Shine does not sparkle for show. Diamond is what you get when pressure has been survived and then organized. He and Vimes recognize each other as people who have been compressed and chose lore instead of shrapnel. Afterward, the taverns will say there was nearly a war. Nearly is Vimes's favorite kind of war. He files it under prevented and goes to find a cow on a page, which is harder than it sounds and easier than a valley. Consider the game again. Thud is not entertainment. It is a rehearsal the species forgot they were still attending. Every tavern board is a tiny Koom Valley. Every shout over a captured piece is an old wound enjoying the acoustics. Vimes does not play. He does not need to. He lives in the city where the board grew streets. The summoning dark is patient in the way of stains. It does not rush. It waits for a man to be right, and tired, and unobserved. Vimes is often right and tired. He arranges to be observed by a badge, a wife, and a clock. 3 witnesses. Most demons cannot get a majority. Cheer's forensic bench smells of chemicals and stubbornness. Murder is a puzzle that thinks it is a message. She translates. Angua translates the street. Sally translates the night. Carrot translates people into their best selves until the facts object. Detritus translates force into justice, which is a dialect with a large vocabulary. When the cube finally speaks, it does not apologize for the centuries. Objects that old consider apology a human fashion. It offers a correction, like a clerk with a better ledger. Vimes, who loves ledgers more than legends, files it. The dark, which loves legends more than ledgers, goes hungry. Hungry is not gone. Hungry is managed. The watch manages hungers. That is the job when you strip the brass off it. Sleep, then. Let the valley be mist. Let the watch house snore. Let the cow be found on schedule. Tomorrow's grudges can queue in the yard with everyone else. One more thing before the lamp goes. Rage is a tool. So is a bedtime story. Vimes keeps both in the same house and tries not to mix the drawers. The dark wanted the drawers mixed. The dark can want. Wanting is free. Acting is where the badge sits. In the morning there will be dwarfs buying bread next to trolls buying bread, which is a boring miracle, which is the only miracle worth the watch. Boring miracles need men who missed the exciting ending on purpose. Night watchmen know that the exciting part of a riot is never the part that needed them. The needed part is the hour after, when someone has to sweep and someone has to count and someone has to write a sentence that will still be true in the morning. Vimes is built for that hour. The dark is built for the other one. This is why they do not get on. A city that can hold a Thud tournament and a funeral on the same street is a city worth the boots. Ankh-Morpork does this without noticing, which is either wisdom or laziness. Vimes does not mind which, so long as the street is still there. Young Sam will not remember the dark. He will remember a cow, a voice, a time that did not slip. That is the victory condition. Everything else is scenery that thinks it is the plot.